Good morning, Mr. Wijojo and fellow employees. This morning we're going to look at the merger with Aussie Log Transport and IAJ and how we can bring them two together with little disruption and gain the best possible outcome to the success of the business as a whole. We'll look at the market. Who are the existing customers? And we have depots in Sydney, Melbourne and Canberra. Regional distribution centres in New South Wales, fleet of BWs, doubles, semi-trailers and rigid trucks. Agents of freight of goods by sea, air and local carriers. And ongoing contract customers, both regular and one-off requirements. How will feedback be gathered about customer service levels? We're going to create and conduct surveys about the service delivered, why the company was chosen, and how the service fared and their satisfaction. The use of transport management system as an effective tracking record of delivery performance and service, and data obtained from the computer tracking system to measure effectiveness of deliveries. And how customer service can be improved. So we're going to streamline all areas and create a more efficient system to keep lines of communication open and ensure a smooth transition and the merger is successful in the future. And transparent tracking of freight. These are some of the ways how we can generate more customers that may have been addressed in the past. With the use of social media, like for example Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, will be used to reach more potential suppliers or customers. Increased availability and accessibility of customer service personnel, online forums and live chat available for immediate support and crisis resolution, as well as any other general customer queries or questions. Networking and collaborating with like-minded businesses who share and think alike, and creating an iOS and Android compatible application. And I've conducted a pest analysis in regards to the merger, and I've put them under 4 subheadings. I have political, economic, social, cultural and technological. And we see here under political we have political instability between Australia and Indonesian governments. Social cultural shows that national culture in Indonesia, understanding cultural diversity between the way Australia and Indonesia do business. In technological, we have product life cycles, maturity of the equipment, advancement in information technology, automation in manufacturing, internet and information systems. And the economic, we have the trade agreements and resource reliability, all linked into managing in a global market. Also created a SWOT analysis of the merger between both businesses, and some of the strengths we have: improve IAJ's transportation demands of goods and services, effectiveness in relation to time and cost associated with one-time deliveries, merger of the two businesses more attractive to new customers because things could be done quicker, and some of the strengths as well. Weaknesses, we have the transport vehicles need to be replaced because they're getting old, their wear and tear, and things need to be updated. So employment gaps in the merger, technology needs updating, like different systems and upgrade programs on computing. Communication methods need to be improved. Opportunities I've seen combined resources together, increase customer base, because both of them together you increase the customers. Smooth and more efficient running of the business, increase shareholder value. Aussie Log bringing their own loyal customers to the table, save on the margins, ship products at lower costs, making them more competitive. It also eliminates future competition, and performance increases and cost decreases. The threats see could be rough. There could be a rough transition of the merger, like teething problems from the start. And then you see a competition with other transport companies and different work ethic and responsibilities. But what we got at the moment is a review of the resources. So in finance, we have IAJ, who's prepared to invest a lot of money in order to meet new and existing requirements and provide cash flow finance. The workforce, with the current workforce in each depot, they're able to meet new requirements to coordinate operations. Increased number of drivers due to increased workload created by the merger, being more positions available, so obviously more staff and more people can actually work for the company. And plant and equipment nearing the end of a life, as we said before, and they need to be replaced. Example, trucks and containers. So things need to be, they're getting old, so they need to be replaced. And how these are objectives and what we need to work towards. So we've got the short term, medium term, long term. In the short term, a review of the existing processes, the communications review, technology upgrades to existing systems. Medium term, review of existing policies and procedures, updating trucks and carriers, looking at staffing needs and revise employees' responsibilities, as responsibilities might change because due to the merger. The long term will be develop a strategic plan. The first thing we need is to designate a contingency point person who does all that. Allocate timeframes for actions to be taken, how long they're going to take. Be prepared for all possible disruptions to your businesses and outline the steps that need to be taken for each scenario. And understanding your transport logistics options, and periodically test your contingency plan that it runs to how you got it, and know where to get help when required. Make sure everyone is involved in the recovery effort. Here we're looking at the key performance indicators and how we're going to document them. So the KPIs used to measure here will be time taken for the product to get to the customer, the cost of labour, number of new customers, customer satisfaction, financial profit and losses, efficiency of the transport system will all be a measure of the KPIs. How will they be documented? Well, we're going to have a graph that actually documents all that. Variance analysis, the traffic light system, reporting system, the trend data, comparing periodic totals, and comparative data compared to monthly intervals. Activity-based costing, we need to recognise that planning and scheduling cash flow. Indirect costings, indirect factors that determine the overall cost of products and service offered through IAJ and Ausilog, both of the two businesses. Each service needs to be reviewed in regards to overheads involved in producing the products and the services. Future planning and scheduling cash flows will be determined by the individual costing of each service product provided by the company, and a breakdown of each item to determine product cost financially, and then will be divided according to how much time it takes for each item to make, which then determines the final sale price and product sale price. Okay. And in staffing, we need to identify gaps and staff required to fill those positions: short-term, long-term, permanent, and temporary. Review or create a new job description, and identify the role that's going to be taken. Develop a selection criteria which covers the qualifications needed, the skills, abilities, and aptitudes. Advertise the job. Appoint a selection panel and process, and new employees need to have a planned induction period, and employees will be introduced to existing staff, and expectations and responsibilities are clearly defined. In order for us to create a smooth transition, We need to look at ongoing training and management for new and existing staff. New recruits will be accountable to the line manager in relation to their performance, effectiveness and efficiency in accordance to their specific job profile. Continuous training will be offered to keep staff current and up to date, especially in the technical knowledge and skills. And staff appraisals will be conducted annually whereby employees can highlight training needs. When we're looking at acquiring new resources, we'll be referring to the procurement policies and procedures so we can get that continuity of both companies, the two companies. And the resources will be acquired in accordance with the policies as it says there. With IHA, the procedures. Process involved in the acquisition of resources will identify the needs of the business, identify the supplier, choose one or more suitable suppliers, negotiations to be made with a selected supplier, so we get the best supplier for the job, and delivery of resource once payment is made. That's that. And the system to monitor the finances will be the ERP, which is Enterprise Resource Planning System, whereby a comprehensive set of functions, processes, activities and data can be handled electronically. The TERP system is a transaction-based information system integrated across the whole business to enable data capture for the whole business in a single computer package. Analyzing and interpreting financial information was the analytical components of the ERP system. Enables raw data to be manipulated to create information with the purpose of drawing conclusions about that information. And the ERP system can monitor performance using defined key metric and key indicators. Monitoring resource acquisition. We need to identify the set of key performance indicators to measure. Input covering time, labour and costs. The output covering production and profit, and efficiency and productivity. Also, monitoring is to be conducted on a regular basis. An example of an effective reporting system, again, is the traffic light system. Key logistics processes: procurement, order fulfillment, production, material planning is really important. Inventory and warehouse management and fleet management for transport. In the integrated processes, we have the human capital management, including recruitment, asset management, life cycle data management, program and project management. And accounting processes also we have in the financial, invoicing receipts, cancelling invoices and handling credit memos. Everything needs to be up to date. Accounts receivable processes, there's an order for everything, how everything's handled. Making payments, and managerial is cost center planning, product costing and internal cost allocation. And to help identify and rectify problems, we have the DMAC method. Define the problems, measure it, analyze it, improve and control it. These are some of the cost-saving strategies that I've come up with. Conduct an in-depth audit of current expenditure. Collect data about the market and to determine the best way of finding suppliers and employing the use of requests for quotations, tendering and the development of supplier panels. Presenting details of the findings in a report which also makes recommendations, implementing the agreed recommendations, ensuring that ongoing monitoring, query management are carried out, and review policies and procedures. And finally, Aussie Log Transport need to be accountable to the stakeholders, and reports need to be created in all management areas specific to the roles that they have. Mr. Wijojo, the board, annual reports focus on summaries over all successes of the merger. The executive management team quarterly reports addressing the key performance indicators. Middle management monthly reports using analytical tools to identify the track progress, and supervisory weekly reports on specific areas of the business, and operational daily reports on the operations of daily business in specific areas. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and we hope that with all the planning that the merger will be a successful one.